everybody motion sick family room. I don't see a red light, is it on?
Yes.
Okay. It's better to ask than to wonder. This is a line that I first heard when my dad met my best friend's mom. And my best friend was born with spina bifida. And what an awkward question. Gee, what's wrong with your child? And her mom said it's better to ask than to wonder. And I wanted to open up with that because why is it better to ask than to wonder? When you wonder, you get to thinking. And when you get to thinking, you want to fix. And when you want to fix, we get this issue that I'm going to address. I'm going to tell you why disabilities don't need a cure. This sounds very harsh. It's not that harsh. Let me start off by defining a disability. A disability is something that impairs you from participating in some aspect of normal life. It's different than a disease. A disease is something that, affects you. You're stricken by, you weren't born with this. You can be paralyzed, that's a disability. Something like Lou Gehrig's disease, that's a disease with debilitating effects. So let me make it very clear. I'm not saying let's not treat MS and Lou Gehrig's disease. So we're clear. 1 out of 5 people has a disability, which means this includes, according to the U.S. Census, people who get paid to be on disability, thus the mentally ill, people on drugs, a lot of people that I'm not really including in this, but U.S. Census. Let me break this down for you. 40% of these are physical disabilities. Another 15% are mental, sensory disabilities, and self-care disabilities. Now, self-care disabilities would be what I was talking about with drug addiction, unable to care for yourself. So that kind of gives you an idea there. Don't look at this yet. What have past cures looked like? Ever since we have been alive, we've been striving for a cure. We want to fix these people. And in our grand scheme of fixing these people, we've done things like drilling holes in people's heads to evacuate the evil spirits. Stretching people with cerebral palsy. They tried spinning some people. That looks fun. Hydrotherapy. This is, of course, done with cold water. And electroshock therapy, which is even used today for mental illness. Now, current therapies, there's a lot of people out there for a cure. The March of Dimes advocates a cure, and they do wonderful things. Current therapies include developmental therapy, meds, surgeries. Therapies are intended to enrich lives. They're intended to help a person to function in society. And the goal for these individuals, special education, and for anybody, is to help each and every individual contribute to the best of their ability. That doesn't mean you need to fix them to do that, but to give somebody therapy is to help them to do that. And the National Down Syndrome Society actually advocates not a cure, but to research ways to enrich lives. And that quote's actually on their website. I was pretty surprised about that. They didn't mention the word cure. Future cures would include biomedicine, gene therapy. They're actually finding new stats saying that autism is not, in fact, a disability as I'm defining it, but a disease. It's caused, they're thinking, by the electrons wearing down from environmental factors, and so they're looking into trying to find cures and therapies to reduce the occurrences. And the stats to support that, actually, are 1 out of 150 kids today is affected by autism. 50 years ago, it was 1 in 3,000. So the rates of autism have really gone up. So that would be defined as a disease, not as a disability, because obviously there's outside factors and it's later onset. So we know that, kind of interesting. My question for you, now that you know what a cure is, and you know what the treatments are, and you know what a disability is, where does it stop? What kind of a mindset is this? If you take a look here, this is a picture of 5 concentration camps. people, residents, back in World War II. All of them are disabled and also Jewish. Where does that stop? Obviously, we're not going to put people in concentration camps, but if we try to fix a disability, what are we going to do once we fix them? Are we going to fix, what's the next person up on the chain? What's going to be fixed? Have you ever seen the movie Gattaca? If you haven't, you should, because it's amazing. I recommend it. And it's about this society, and people are built and engineered from conception. And anybody who's conceived out of love just by chance is looked down upon. And it's a society that started because disabilities were completely eradicated. So, and think about another thing, the butterfly effect. Everything that we do impacts another thing. If you believe in the food chain, if you are recycling and going green, and you believe that everything that you do has an effect, what are the effects of this? You don't know. But this is the butterfly effect. Now, in current disability culture, there's a whole civil rights movement saying that they just want to be equal. They don't want to be fixed. They just want to be equal. I found this guy while I was researching. I was going to show you all kinds of cute pictures of the kids that I've known, but this really struck me. This guy's name is Ryan, and he's affected by Fragile X. Only males are affected by Fragile X. And I got that off of his Facebook page. He is an intern at the United States Senate level for a Mississippi rep. He's working a government job as an intern with Fragile X. That is amazing. All because some people stood behind him and empowered him and didn't try to fix him. They just wanted to empower him. He's made a big contribution. There's actors, there are college students, who knows what they'll become. A lot of people in this community are affected by Down syndrome, and one thing that one of my former kids that I used to serve, his mom told me, was that she thought that she chose to have two boys with Down syndrome. So for those of you who are thinking, well, what if it was your baby? Because I get that all the time. I would have been fine with it, by the way. These people chose to have kids with Down syndrome. She said it's like another race. This whole community is like another race. It's got its own culture, it's got its own language, and it reaches across economy, other races, geography. And she said, you don't see people trying to fix black. No, you don't see people trying to fix black, so why would we fix Down syndrome? That really struck me. Millions of people have died and been tortured and institutionalized and left alone, all because somebody saw something that they didn't understand, thought that needed to be fixed, and tried to fix it. They don't want to be fixed. My goal is for you to change your mindset. Not wanting to be like, oh yeah, don't fix them. If they want to, that's fine. Many deaf people choose to have cochlear ear implants. But I would like us to change our mindset. The mindset is what's dangerous, the fix-it mindset. Instead of fixing it, embrace it.